ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम् वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरोः श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवंश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साधुवैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगण ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिन्निति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे नमो महावदान्याय कृष्ण प्रेम प्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नामिने गौरतुषे नमः हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधो दीनबंधो जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवास आदि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा। Today yesterday or just half Hare Krishna. Is it audible?
Now it is audible.
Okay. Okay. So then we discussed about the happiness in three modes. Krishna described third thing, happiness in three modes. After that, then Krishna described about Sakam Karma Yoga to Nishkam Karma Yoga. The most important point there we discussed is as per the situation of the person, he should do his prescribed duty so that he can go to the next level. Okay, he should not think, oh, goodness is the best thing or Brahmana profession is best. So I will do Brahmana profession like that. So that person should do work as per his level. what is prescribed at his level in Shastra so that he can go to the next level. So we discussed how that the Brahmana is in the mode of goodness, the Kshatriya predominantly first basically mode is passion, and then secondarily he also has the Sattva Guna, goodness. Vaishya, he has the mode of passion as the primary, and last one, the Shudra, the mode of ignorance. Correct. So this we discussed yesterday, and then Krishna is going to continue in this section which we are discussing now. 47th verse, half we have done, Sakam Karma to Nishkam Karma Yoga. So we are continuing 47th verse, Baldev Vidyabhushan's commentary. This is the verse we were discussing yesterday. Shreya Swadharmo Viguna. One should do his own dharma even though it may have some faults. And Paradharmat Sunishtita Swabhav Niyatam Karma Kurvannapnoti Kilvisham. Like that. So we read the purport by Srila Prabhupada. Now we will read Baldev Vidyabhushan's commentary. Okay. Yes. Sharveshwari Radhika Mataji can read.
Yes, Prabhuji. Because the duties of the Kshatriyas and others are composed of the lower gunas, people losing taste for those duties should perform the duties of the Brahmanas in Sattva Guna. Undertaking one's own dharma, which may be inferior, is better than doing more perfectly, and the dharma which is
No.
superior more attractive. It is much preferred because it is prescribed by the scriptures to do those duties corresponding to one's qualities. One should not think that subsisting on grains fallen in the field as a Brahmana is a superior dharma to one's own dharma as a Kshatriya, which has violence, or as a Vaishya, which involves untruthfulness, because the Brahmana's work lacks those faults.
Yeah. So he's telling about different duties. Vigunan, that word. Uh, Basically, if you see the word Vigunan, Vigunaha, imperfectly. Okay, this word means imperfectly. So some imperfections may be there in one's own duty. So that Baldev Vidyabhushan is saying here, because the duties of Kshatriyas and others are composed of the lower gunas. How? So yesterday we discussed, okay, it's not in this purport, but we discussed in summary also now that how that which is of Kshatriya, he has a mixture of mode of passion in his, and then ignorance is mixed with the Vaishya duties. Correct. So he lower gunas for Kshatriya, and obviously Shudra is ignorance. So taste for those duties should perform the duties of the Brahmans in Sattva. Like that is the argument. Okay, this is not Baldev Vidyabhushan saying, this is argument or Puru Paksh. Okay, opposite argument. Okay, it's like that. So he's saying, oh, Sattva is better, no? So these people who are there like Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, they should do the duties of Brahman because that is in Sattva, and Sattva is best. Correct. So one should do that duty, he's saying. So in answer, Baldev Vidyabhushan is saying, undertaking one's own dharma, which may be inferior, viguna, it may have some imperfection. What are the imperfection? One is that it is having low mixture of lower modes, is better than doing more perfectly another dharma which is superior or more attractive. Like yesterday we were discussing, two patients are there. One patient is of jaundice, other one is malaria. They are side by side in hospital. So the jaundice patient may find his medicine bitter, and he may find the medicine of malaria patient very sweet. That does not mean he should start taking the malaria patient medicine. That will make his situation worse. If he takes even his medicine out of 3 times, one time also, he will improve his in health. But just because others' medicine is sweet, that he cannot take. So undertaking one's own dharma, which may be inferior, it may be bitter, it may be difficult, it may be troublesome, like a Kshatriya, Arjuna is saying, oh, I cannot fight with my own kinsmen, my own uncle, my own brothers, my own grandfather, like that, Pitamaha, Bhishma, like that. So here he is saying, Baldev Bhushan is saying it is much preferred. What is much preferred? Doing one's own dharma, even though it may be inferior, because it is prescribed by the scriptures to do those duties corresponding to one's qualities. So because what is prescribed in scriptures, that is what preference is given. Why scriptures are prescribing like that? Because they know a person like Shudra, if he does certain prescribed duty, he will elevate in his next life, to he can elevate in his consciousness. Okay. But if he starts forcibly doing others activity like Brahmana activity, then he will fall down and he will go out of the Varnashma system, become Anteja, like that. So he will go even below. One should not think that subsisting on grains fallen in a field as a Brahmana is superior dharma to one's own dharma as a Kshatriya, which has violence, or as a Vaishya, which involves untruthfulness, because the Brahmana's work lacks those faults. So, for somebody can think, yes, this Sattuguna or this Brahmana, he is just actually this concept is there. Generally, who are sannyasis specifically, that there will be marketplace, this sannyasi or this brahmana, they don't have any livelihood, they just maybe studying shastra, like that, so they can go to the marketplace where the grains were being sold, and after they sell the grains, then they go off to their homes, these Vaishya people. Then some grains will be fallen on the ground, some fruits will be fallen on the ground, that they can pick up and they can cook, they can wash and cook them, and then they can eat. That is prescribed thing for brahmana or especially a sannyasi. So that he is saying that, oh, it does not have any fault, let the Vaishyas and Shudras and Kshatriyas do this, because it's not having any fault, like that. Sarveshwari Radhika Mataji, please read. Hmm.
Because
Yeah,
the
Sarveshwari Radhika
Prabhuji,
Mataji, please read.
a second page, yeah, I was not able to see. That is because in doing one's
Yeah.
dharma with its fault, which are prescribed by scriptures, according to one's nature, swabhava nihitam karma, one does not incur sin. Just as there is no fault in the violence of sacrificing animals because it is ordained by scripture, so there is no fault in the violence or untruthfulness which is part of fighting or business because it is ordained as duty by
Yeah.
scripture. This has been explained in detail in
Yeah.
the third chapter.
Correct. Hmm. Okay. So here, that's why he is saying now, that is because in doing one's dharma prescribed by Shastra, with faults, even though it may have some faults, but their own dharma they do. Okay, here it is written, prescribed according to one's nature, swabhava nihitam karma. This swabhava will come ahead. Sin. Okay, this is what is important. In doing one's own dharma, one will not sin, even though it may have. Okay, it will not incur any sin. This way, karma abhiratah. Correct. Krishna told earlier, previous verse. And even in Shimatam it says, Swe adhikar, one should do. Yeah. So, Satita, if one does activities as per what, that is called Sagunah, that is called piety. Yes, to dosha syad. If one does opposite, then there will be dosha, sin. Ubhayor esha nishchayah. One should understand both this sin and piety in this way. Okay, like that. Just as there is no fault in violence of sacrificing because it is ordained by scripture. So sometimes when the people do, they will have to do this violence of the animal, but it does not incur any sin. So there is no fault in fighting or business for a and for a Vaishya because it is ordained as the duty of scripture, as a duty of scripture. So scriptures themselves are proclaiming that these are the duties of a Kshatriya. And, so accordingly, they will not incur any sin. This has been explained in detail in the third chapter. And this is anyhow the summary, what we are discussing now. Okay, any question? Somebody had raised hand.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
So, how to identify one's own dharma? Because it could be the mixture of different gunas. So, how to identify actually which particular guna we falls into to follow it rather than actually jumping onto others?
What you said, mixture of gunas, huh?
Right,
Okay, yeah, correct. Yeah, there will be mixture of gunas in every person, correct. So, how to identify one's own duty, na?
correct. Yeah.
That is the question. Okay. Yeah, yesterday also we were discussing about this. This whole section, I will show the section. Actually, if you have seen, it is for those who are transmigrating from sakama karma to nishkam karma. Okay, sakam karma to nishkam karma yoga. So this is applicable, this whole section is applicable to these people. Okay, those who are going from sakam karma yoga. Okay, next section will be applicable for Gyan Yogis, those who will go from Nishkam Karma Yoga to Gyan Yoga, and then they will go on. That will be next section. Okay, and next section after that is some Gyan Yogis can even become Bhakta by coming in association of devotee, or Nishkam Karma Yogi can become a Bhakta association of devotee. Okay, association of devotee is the factor. If they get the association of devotee, they will become devotee. That is next to next section. Okay. Basically, this manvana bhav mad bhakto madhyaji mam namasko tija mam ekam sharanam vraja. That will be for Hare Krishna. Is it audible?
Yeah, Prabhuji, your voice is breaking. It is not clearly audible.
Okay. 1 minute. Off the video and change my place also and see. I don't know why internet suddenly became like this. Morning it was good. Just 1 minute. Okay, now. Okay, let me break. Okay. So, what I was saying, yeah. So, what we are discussing,
Still breaking, Prabhuji.
this section is Sakam Karma. Audible?
Yes,
It's
Prabhuji.
breaking in between.
Looking for others also?
No, Prabhuji, now we can hear. Sometime it breaks. Just now we
It's
can hear.
audible, Prabhuji.
Oh, okay. Okay. So basically this section is particular people are going from to Nishkam Karma. Or devotees, the section where Krishna dharma jamam ekam sharanam vraja. Aham tvam sarva pakshayishyami, I will say. And there in commentary we will read that how for they don't have to do all this consideration, but varna, okay, that has to be up. Sarva dharman parityaja and take up the navati or whatever we are discussing. That is for devotees. So for us, we don't have to particularly see what and what that we have to do. And pratyuta varjanam. That is the main thing that our acharyas have focused for devotees, for us. Is it okay, Prabhuji?
Yes, Prabhuji. Yeah.
For you, I think voice is breaking still. Okay, it was clear.
I'm not sure if it is. I think your voice is breaking for me. I'm not sure of the others, but
Prabhuji,
It is
not
breaking.
exactly.
the entire explanation was
breaking,
in broken voice.
Okay. And now let me know if it still breaks, then we will change.
Yeah, it's breaking for me.
Okay, so what I was explaining, still it is.
Yes.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Achha. Okay, one. Change the internet. Hare Krishna. Okay, I changed my internet and let me know if it is still breaks. Okay, are you able to hear now?
Yes, it is better now.
Better? Okay, okay. Yeah. So I was just saying, Prabhu, one simple thing, Prabhuji, that the title of this section, what we are discussing, is going from Sakam Karma Yoga to Nishkam Karma Yoga. Next section, after 48, basically 49 onwards, it will be explaining about Jnana Yoga. Brahma Bhuta Prasannatma na sochti na kankshati sama sarveshu bhuteshu mad bhakti labhate param. That will be the last verse of Jnana Yoga section. Next. Then it will explain how a person attains Brahman. Then if that person gets association of devotee, then he will become a devotee bhakta. Bhakti Yoga will be explained in next section after that. And there Krishna will explain Sarva Dharman Parityaja Mamekam Sharanam Vraja. Okay. 65 he will explain Manmana Bhava Mad Bhakta. All that thing he will explain. Okay, na?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay, this was audible till now?
Yes, it is audible now.
Okay, yeah. So what I'm saying is this section, what we are discussing now, that one should do his own prescribed duty and not do others' duty. This is specifically for these people, those who are the part of Varnashrama system. Okay. This is for these people. And those who are doing Varnashrama system, for them is the prescribed duties. They should do as per the modes. They are in particular modes. They should do according to that so that they can elevate to the next level. This clear?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Now, for devotees, what does Krishna say? He will come and say in 66th verse, Sarvadharman parityaja mamekam sharanam vraja aham tvam sarvapapebhyo mokshayishyami ma suchaha. You forget about all other kinds of dharma. Like that Krishna will tell, and then we will read. It's a very big purport and commentary by all acharyas. We will read there. All the acharyas will say that a devotee has to not bother about varnashrama dharma. He's being kshatriya or vaishya or shudra. All these things are not there. Kirata hunandra pulinda pulkasha abhir shumba yavana khashadaya yenna cha papa yadapashraya shraya sudhyanti tasmay prabha vishnave namaha. All these people will be purified equally. There is no distinction that Shudra will be less purified, Brahmana will be more purified, nothing like that. Whoever practices as sincerely, they can be purified that quickly. No distinction in bhakti. So if once one takes shelter of Krishna, there primarily the action is taking shelter of Krishna and being in this social order of as a grihastha, brahmachari, vanprastha, sannyasi, all these things are secondary. For whom? Devotees. Okay, so VA I am writing Varnashrama. For the devotees is secondary. Okay. And Bhakti is primary. Okay. So please understand this carefully. Whereas for these people, Sakam Karma, Nishkam Karma, for them, Varnashrama Dharma, prescribed duties is primary. As a Brahmachari, Vanprastha, or even as a Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, these are primary things for them, duties. And Bhakti is secondary. Okay. So yesterday when we were quoting this shloka, secondary. Okay. For them Bhakti secondary. So yesterday we discussed this shloka. Varnashama acharvata purishena parha puman Vishnu aradhyate pantannanya tattosha karanam. So Vishnu aradhana has to be there in Varnashama. Okay. If somebody says he is a Varnashrami but he does worship of some demigod. Okay. Like Indra, Chandra, like that, Ganesha. Then he is not following Varnashrama because Varnashrama, Parashar Muni very clearly has said, Vishnu Aradhyate. Vishnu Aradhana has to be there. So now everybody doing Vishnu Aradhana is not same. There are so many people who come once in a month to temple. Some people come once in a week to temple. Correct. And some people, but whenever they come, they will ask for some material benefit. They are in a different category. Some people, they may also come once in a month, once in a week, but they are very good grihastha devotees. They will not ask for any material thing. They will ask only for pure bhakti. There is difference, correct? Somebody has taken bhakti as primary, okay, and other desires as secondary. Okay. They want to give up such desires, kam, krodh, moh, mad, matsarya. But for these people who are practitioners of Varnashma Dharma, they are not wrong. They are doing as per their level, as per their devotion. So they do their prescribed duties primarily and also do bhakti as a secondary element. Okay. So if you remember earlier we discussed karma yoga means what? A big part of karma is there and there is small element of bhakti. Without this bhakti, it will not get fulfilled. Jnana yoga means what? It is jnana most of the part and little bit bhakti is also there in that. Otherwise, without bhakti, this will not give results. These things we have discussed. So please understand this very, very specific difference and very important difference that they also do bhakti, Varnashrama people. They also do Vishnu Aradhana. And we also devotees, we also do Vishnu Aradhana. But our primary thing is Vishnu Aradhana. That is our main thing. Navavida Bhakti. Correct. Sravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu, Asmaranam, Padasevanam. In all this, we do Arpana to Vishnu only. Correct. But they are doing primarily prescribed duties and secondary is bhakti for them. That is the difference. So now when this purport, the question which you asked, when here now Baldev Vidyabhushan is saying or Krishna is saying that one should do his duty even though it may be inferior and not do others duty which may be superior like a brahmana's duty or others. This is not for devotees. Okay, for devotees Krishna will tell sarv dharman parityajya. This is for karma yogi. Okay, Gyan yogi section is next. It will come. What they should do. Okay. So this I am not saying because I like to tell this. This will be coming in the commentaries in Sarvadharma Parityaja also, and here also, here very clearly. Okay, niyatam karma. The word has been used. Okay, niyatam karma. Niyat means that which is measured. What is proper translation? Niyatam prescribed. Okay. Prescribed, whatever is prescribed duty. For devotees, what is prescribed? Anukulyasya sankalpa, pratikulyasya varjanam. That is the main thing for devotees. For them, it is not like that. For us, for devotees, whatever is anukul for bhakti, that we should try to do. Whichever occupation, whichever duty, whichever time, place, circumstance is favorable for us, we should do that like that, our bhakti. But for them, it is not like that. They have to do as per the recommendation in the scriptures of karma yoga, karma shastras. Okay, like that. So I will show. I don't know whether yesterday's Chaitanya Prabhu had asked question. He is there. Okay. Anyhow, so I will show. I wanted to show one conversation yesterday of Prabhupada. I will show that conversation. So I got it yesterday, where Prabhupada is mentioning what is the purpose of this Varnashrama and what is his 50% remaining desire that we discussed yesterday. That was to establish Varnashrama for non-devotees, those who are not devotees, for them. So now again we will read. Yes, Vrajanand Krishna, you can read. Or yeah, Chaitanya Prabhu, are you there? Okay, not able to hear or maybe not able to speak, I think. Yes, Prabhuji, you can continue, please. Read.
Prabhupada, no, ISKCON
Yeah,
is not
read
going
the
to be
heading also.
morning walk, Feb 1976, Mayapur. Prabhupada, no, ISKCON is not going to be social reformer, but as far as possible, we can help. Our main business is how to make everyone Krishna conscious. That is our business. We cannot take up, but if possible, we can take up all the systems of Varnashrama.
Yeah, continue. Yeah.
If Varnashrama is neglected, then how can there be proper functioning of society?
Yeah, this is the question. Prabhupada told that, yeah, we are not social reformers. We cannot take up Varnashrama. But if possible, we can try. Okay, like that. So Tamal Krishna Maharaj is asking question. Oh, but how will the society function properly? There will be so much problem, so much fall down in the society. Yeah, please read.
Prabhupada, no. If the society chants Hare Krishna seriously, then it is all right. Never mind whatever is done. It doesn't matter. Papi tapi jata chelo, Hari name uddharilo. This is the power of Harinam Sankirtan. If one is absorbed in Krishna consciousness, so all the benefit is there. So long in the bodily concept of life, we require this Varnashram Dharma, otherwise there is no necessity.
Yeah. Okay. So Prabhupada is quoting. He's not telling his own thing. Papi tapi yatashilo hariname uddharilo. Or as I quoted from Bhagavatam. Correct. So Kirat Hunandra Pulinda Pulkasha Abhira Shumba Yavana Khashade. All this can be delivered. So what is the required thing? Prabhupada is that also is telling. It's not that somehow chant Hare Krishna, sleep and chant Hare Krishna, and do all other things and then chant Hare Krishna. If the society chants Hare Krishna seriously, okay, if we chant seriously, then it is all right. We don't take up this and then we say, oh, this process is not working, what Prabhupada has given, what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has given is not working, so many people are falling down. Okay, so these all are not acceptable. Yeah, please read.
Prabhupada, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, you have read in the 8th chapter, Madhya Leela, talk between Ramananda Rai and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So, perfectional life, how begins? This question was raised by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and Ramananda replied, it begins with the Varnashram Dharma, a regulated social life.
Yeah, continue.
Ramakrishna, he rejected that.
Yeah, so so Prabhupada is quoting this very famous conversation or samvad between Rai Ramanand and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So Ramananda Rai began with this Varnashma Dharma, that everybody should take up to Varnashma Dharma, like that. So he is saying he rejected that. Yeah, please read.
Prabhupada, not rejected. Yes, it is not very important. Eho Bhaiya, this is external. Age kaha aega. If you know something more. So the Varnashram Dharma is a good help undoubtedly, but it is not important for Krishna consciousness. Otherwise, how could I start this movement in the Western country?
Yeah, so Prabhupada is saying that, okay, it's not rejected. Varnashma is not rejected. We accept it. How do we accept? Externally. Externally, we place ourselves as a brahmachari, as a grihastha, as a vanprastha, as a sannyasi, externally, not internally. Okay, so please note this. It's not that we make ourselves social outcast. No, we also accept the order of Varnashama to set example in the society, or not to be a very, very outcast kind of people in the society. But aage kaha aar. Okay, please say something more if you know. Like that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told. Okay. So now Prabhupada makes a very important point. So the Varnashrama Dharma is a good help, undoubtedly. For whom it is good help? That we have to ask. That people don't ask. This much only they will read and then start all Varnashrama. But it is not important for Krishna consciousness. Otherwise, how could I start this movement in the Western country? So yesterday also we were discussing that how Prabhupada started. He did not start with Varnashrama. Yeah, please read.
There was no Varnashram Dharma, but that did not hamper my movement. Now people are surprised how these peoples have become such a great devotees. So it was not based on Varnashram Dharma. No, because the whole movement is spiritual. It starts from spiritual platform. Aham Varmasmi. Jivera Swarupai Nitya Krishna Das.
Yeah, so Prabhupada is saying here there was no Varnashma Dharma. But somebody may say, no, no, no. Prabhupada actually he told in the end that we have to establish Varnashma. Earlier he was not having that realization. Later in his life he focused so much on Varnashma actually. He gave so many talks about Varnashma. For whom did he give that talks? For whom that is meant? Yeah, please read.
Samsrita ye pada pallava plavam maham mahat padam punyaso murare bhavam buddhi vatsa padam param. Srimad Bhagavatam 10:14-58. Now, just like here is a gap, so you can go by the bridge, and if you can jump over, that is also going. That is also going. So, to become Krishna conscious means to jump over to the spiritual platform immediately.
Yeah, so Prabhupada is giving an example here. So he is traveling, this is a morning walk, he is walking. So in the walking, there is some gap in between. Okay, so you can go by the bridge, or if you can jump over. If you can jump over, if you are qualified to jump over, then you can jump. Qualified for what? To become Krishna conscious. If you are qualified for becoming Krishna conscious, what is the qualification? Shraddha. Okay. That is the Kanishta Adhikari, Madhyama Adhikari, Uttama Adhikari. We will read in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. Three qualified people are there for practicing. Okay. Kanishta Adhikari also, Madhyama Adhikari also, and Uttama Adhikari. All three can practice. If any one of them, they have Shraddha. That is the factor. Okay. So then if you are qualified, then you can take up to Krishna consciousness and then jump. okay, to a spiritual platform immediately. Yeah, read this.
And this Varnashram Dharma, Sannyas, Varnatyag, Karmatyag, these are different steps only. But if you become Krishna conscious seriously, then you jump over all these steps, you go immediately. That lifts and the staircase. By staircase, you go step by step, but by lift, you can go immediately, faster.
Yeah, so that's what he is giving this example of lift and staircase. So what is the lift and what is the staircase? So he is saying this lift is Krishna consciousness. Staircase is a Varnashrama. Here he said Varnashrama, what all? Like sannyas, varnatyag, karmatyag. By doing, now we will read next verse is karmatyag, where nishkama karma yogi, he will do karmatyag and he will become sannyasi or gyan yogi. Okay. That will come next verse. So these all things are not applicable for Krishna consciousness. These are all different steps of what? Of the staircase. Very clearly Prabhupada has told. Okay. These all Varnashrama Dharma which is being described now in this verse is all for these people. Those who are Nishkam Karma Yogi, Sakam Karma Yogi. All these people. For Krishna consciousness, you can just take the lift. But if you, and also please remember here, Krishna consciousness seriously. Second time Prabhupada is telling here. If you are only practicing seriously, then the effects will come. Otherwise, all these other effects will not come. Okay, so this was a quote of Prabhupada which I wanted to show yesterday. I didn't get yesterday. Okay. And there was one question also, I don't remember who asked, but this question that, yeah, in devotional service also we have different kind of people working, like some people may be businessmen, some people may be doing cleanings and other things. So how we understand them? Are they doing Varnashma or what? So for that also I will show now one clip from a lecture. Okay, that you can see and hear. And then this is a clip from Bhagavatam class of His Holiness Bhanu Swami Maharaj. And this very question is being asked. Very recently, this class was given on 10th April. Okay, so that you can hear and see what is his response to this question. Okay, I will share the screen and audio also. Let me know if you are able to hear it. 1 minute. Okay, is it visible?
Yes.
Okay, okay. So there is in between little Tamil. Okay, so please skip trying to understand that part. Okay. Okay, sorry, it is at little more speed. I want to reduce that. So there has been a discussion about Varnashma already, okay, which was going on previously. Okay, let me play that also so that the context is clear. Otherwise, devotees may think that I'm cutting out something and playing. Okay, are you able to hear the audio?
No, no, Prabhu.
No, no, yeah. Now I will share again. Okay, share sound. I didn't share the sound. Okay. Okay. Now you're able to see the screen again?
Yeah, we can see.
Yes.
பார்க்க முடிகிறது.
Yeah, so we see
Is it
Egyptian
audible?
Yes.
Okay.
society or Greek society.
இருப்பதை நாம் பார்க்க முடிகிறது.
So it depends on the particular culture.
இது அந்த குறிப்பிட்ட அமைகிறது.
Hear from here.
But I understand that this four varnas is made for the peaceful in the society. It's not that for the spiritual advancement, but that is secondary. But primary is for the peaceful of the society.
இந்த வர்ணங்களின் மூலமாக ஆன்மீக முன்னேற்றம் என்பதே ஆகும். இது என்னுடைய புரிதலாகும். இது சரியான புரிதலா?
So, as we see here, they do have worship of the Lord as integral to it, but that's not the main goal.
So, the chapter here is second canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, and the section is of Varnashrama Dharma. So, Maharaj is saying that there also they have worship of Vishnu or Krishna, but that is not the main goal. Okay.
இங்கே நாம் பார்க்கலாம் பகவான் வழிபாடாக இங்கு இல்லை.
For that reason, Bhagavatam ultimately rejects the system.
இந்த காரணத்திற்காகத்தான் இறுதியாக பாகவதமானது இந்த வழிமுறையை நிராகரிக்கிறது.
The more intelligent person will make worship of the Lord the main element, everything else secondary.
அதிக புத்தி கூர்மையுடைய நபர் பகவானை வழிபடும் முறையை பிரதான வழிமுறையாக கடைபிடிப்பார். இதர விஷயங்கள் அனைத்தையும் இரண்டாம் பட்சமாக கருதுவார்.
So, that person who does worship of the Lord or bhakti as the main element can reject the whole system.
பகவான் வழிபாட்டு முறையை பிரதான வழிமுறையாக கடைபிடிக்கும் நபர், பக்தி வழிமுறையை பிரதானமாக கடைபிடிக்கும் நபர் இதர விஷயங்களை இந்த மொத்த வழிமுறையும் நிராகரிக்கலாம்.
But that is difficult for most people, so most people do not reject the system. They do it, but as a secondary element.
இது பெரும்பாலான மக்களுக்கு மிக கடினமான செயல்பாடாக இருக்கும் காரணத்தினால் பெரும்பாலான மக்கள் இந்த வர்ணாசிரம வழிமுறையை நிராகரிக்க மாட்டார்கள். அதை செய்வார்கள், ஆனால் அதை இரண்டாம் பட்சமாக கருதுவார்கள்.
So Maharaj told one very important thing, that most people will not be able to reject the system and take bhakti as primary. So they accept the Varnashrama system. Okay. And for others, those who are able to do bhakti, for them primary is bhakti only.
So, see, in the case of devotees, how will he categorize that he comes under which one? Like, see, same devotee, he is doing the worship of the Lord, and same devotee he is doing the management, same devotee he is doing the business for Krishna, same devotee he is cleaning the temple hall, like serving others. So we see that one person is connected to all four varnas. So how will you categorize that?
So the question is, the devotee is doing all different things, business, cleaning, worship. So he is doing all four kinds of things. Sometimes one devotee does all four in a day. So how do we categorize like that? Okay.
பக்தரை பொறுத்த பக்தர்களுக்கு சேவை செய்கிறார். இவ்விதமாக ஒரு பக்தர் செய்யும் செயல்பாட்டை பார்க்கும் பொழுது அவர் 4 வர்ணங்களுக்கும் பொருத்தமான செயல்பாட்டை செய்து கொண்டே இருக்கிறார். எனவே பக்தர்களை எப்படி இதன் அடிப்படையில் நாம் வகைப்படுத்துவது?
So service in the temple is not exactly the same as the Varna system.
ஆலயத்தில் செய்யும் சேவையானது வர்ணாசிரம வழிமுறை போன்ற ஒரு செயல்பாடு இல்லை.
In the Varna system, worship of the Lord is secondary element.
வர்ணாசிரம வழிமுறையில் பரமபுருஷ பகவான் வழிபாடு என்பது இரண்டாம் பட்ச அங்கமாகும்.
And all services in the temple, whatever they are, they may look like Sudra or Vaishya, Kshatriya, Brahmana things, are all mainly devotional elements.
ஆலயத்தில் இருக்கும் அனைத்து சேவைகளையும் பார்ப்பதற்கு வைசிய சேவைகள், சத்திரிய சேவைகள், சூத்ர சேவைகள், பிராமண சேவைகள் போல தெரியலாம். ஆனால் உண்மையில் இவை அனைத்துமே பக்தியின் அங்கங்களாகும்.
So a devotee could do any of these things.
ஒரு பக்தர் இதில் எதை வேண்டுமானாலும் செய்யலாம்.
However, he may have talent or inclination for a particular service.
ஆனால் பக்தருக்கென்று தனிப்பட்ட திறமை மற்றும் தனிப்பட்ட ஆர்வம் இருக்கும் வரதால் ஒரு குறிப்பிட்ட சேவையை பக்தர் செய்யலாம்.
So probably he'll do that service better than the others, so that's a better engagement.
ஓரளவிற்கு அந்த பக்தர் இதர நபர்களை விட அந்த சேவையை சிறப்பாக செய்வார். அப்படி அந்த பக்தரை ஈடுபடுத்துவது சிறப்பான ஈடுபாடாக கருதப்படுகிறது.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. Maharaj, doubt from yesterday's class, Maharaj.
Okay, so that was the part. Now some other question is being asked. So basically, yeah, what Maharaj said, that for devotees, the service in temple is not under the Varna and Ashrama system. For devotees, the bhakti is the predominantly the primary thing, and Varnashrama they may be doing externally, it is there, and it may look like Shudra activity or other activity, but actually it is devotional activity. That's what Maharaj said. And the same thing here Krishna also is saying, that for devotees, sarvadharman parityajya mamekam sharanam vraja. That is the most important thing they have to follow. That will come in 65, 66 shlokas. Currently, the section we are discussing is the section on karma, that is karma yoga system. Okay. Yeah. Any questions on what we discussed till now?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna. Yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah,
So
audible. Yeah.
I understood this point, but like for devotees, how Varnashrama is relevant? Like we see Srila Prabhupada himself established so many farm communities and he requested devotees to live there and lead a simple living and high thinking. And we also see practically nowadays it is becoming more and more difficult to live in cities.
Yeah.
So can you please
Yeah.
explain how simple living is relevant for devotees? Like for devotees, Varnashram, how it is relevant and if not relevant.
Yeah, obviously. Yesterday we discussed part of this actually, that Prabhupada quote I showed from Ocean of Mercy book. I think yesterday you missed. No? So Prabhupada told in that 50% of my mission is remaining. So what is that 50% of his mission? Yesterday we discussed, and it is to establish Varnashama actually, what Prabhupada told. So for whom is that Varnashama then? So then Bhakti Charu Maharaj is explaining in his book Ocean of Mercy, which we did yesterday. And there, I will share the screen. You can read. He's showing. Yeah. See this. Are you able to see?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah. Read this.
What I have done is 50%, he said. The other 50% is to establish Varnashrama Dharma, the Vedic organizational society into 4 social and 4 spiritual orders.
Yeah. Read this.
I did not know what to say, so I remained silent. ISKCON is for the devotees, he said. But not everyone will become a devotee. Not everyone will be able to surrender to Krishna. For those who will not, who will continue to act according to the modes of material nature, in order to situate them in the proper human culture, we need Varnashram Dharma.
Yeah. So Prabhupada is saying that we need this Varnashma Dharma for those who are not able to become devotees. ISKCON is for devotees. What we are trying to practice is trying to practice Shuddha Bhakti. We may have anarthas in the heart, and anarth nivritti will happen. But those who are not able to take up to Anyabhilashita Shunyam, for them we need Varnashma. And in order to situate them in proper human culture, we need Varnashma Dharma. So what is the meaning of this we need? Do we have to also become a Varnashrami from a Bhakti practitioner? The answer is no. Prabhupada has explained in other conversation, yesterday I was quoting, that this Varnashrama Dharma is our pilot project. Okay. So he says, just like a pilot drives the whole airplane. So we may have to set the example for the whole society, whole world, by establishing farm communities and trying to live sattvic life, and trying to not be in passion and ignorance. We can set the example like that so that others can see our example and take up to Varnashrama, so that they can ultimately come and become devotees someday. That is what he has explained. The mission of establishing farms, Gurukul, all these things are not primarily for devotees. It's not that we have to go back from Navavida Bhakti to Kshatriya Dharma, Brahmana Dharma, all these things. That's what is. And also in Kali Yuga, practicing Varnashma itself is very difficult, as you are saying, like it's very difficult. So it makes more sense to practice Bhakti only, because Bhakti is the only possible thing which Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came to spread. That's why. Otherwise, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu could have spread Varnashma plus Bhakti. Why to spread only Bhakti? Why to say Ramananda Rai, it's Eho Bahya? Okay, like that. So Bahya, yeah, external thing is required. As a dress, we may have to be in the dress of a brahmachari, vanprastha, sannyas, like that. Because without dress, we cannot act. Correct, like that. We cannot go anywhere. Just like, yeah. So there are many examples, but this is the understanding.
So,
Is
Prabhuji,
it okay?
Varnashram is one thing, and another thing that is simple living. So,
Yeah.
at the time of, let's say, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, I don't think there was so much of complicated living as nowadays it is there.
Correct. Yeah.
So, and simple living obviously supports. Like
Correct.
recently, I visited one farm community. So
Yeah, I
their
understood your
devotees
point, basically. Yeah, I understood
simply,
the point. The point, yeah, is correct that we need to have this sattvic life. It's helpful. Correct. And the more we get detached from passion and ignorance, that much better we can practice bhakti. That is also there. That much more we can be serious in bhakti. There is no harm in that. Okay. But shifting our goal from
yeah,
attaining bhakti to something else, being a Varnashmi and investing more of our consciousness only in establishing Gurukul and farm and then having no time for chanting, reading, hearing, that is not good. That's what I'm saying. Then doing these things, what you are saying is good. We should actually do like that, simple
the
living. That is better.
Brahmanas,
Yeah,
they
yeah,
are doing farming, like they help in farming, not primarily, but
yeah.
even they help in farming. So like that, they do collaboratively many
Yeah,
of the things.
yeah, that is fine. Yeah, but yeah, generally it does not stop there. We have seen many devotees who have gone into this, then go to cow protection, and from cow protection to go to that kind of mission and society where there is no predominance for bhakti. They give more importance for bhakti. Sorry, more importance for cow protection. So from we love cows because we love Krishna. This is their primary mood. We love Krishna. That's why we love cows. From this mood, they go to we love Krishna because he loves cows. Okay. So there is a difference between these two. They shift their paradigm. Okay. First, primarily we are loving Krishna, and then we also love cows because Krishna loves cows. And they move to another paradigm that we love Krishna because Krishna loves cows. Getting the difference, there is a subtle difference in that. So that
Yes.
mood shift happens. So that's why, like, it's not very good to associate quite long time with those people who have more focus in this, like that. That is my understanding. Okay, now.
Okay. Please.
Okay. Okay, we'll move from this topic. This is unlimited topic to discuss. Yeah, can never stop. Yeah. Anyhow, so we respect everybody, whoever understands the way they understand Prabhupada's mission. Yeah. 48. 47 we just completed, right? Yeah. Sahajam karma kaunteya sadosham api na tejet sarvarambha hi doshena durmenangir ivar ivavritah. Okay, so this is the last verse of this section, basically moving from Shakam Karma Yoga to Nishkam Karma Yoga, and Krishna is concluding now. Yeah, somebody else can read. Yes, Santosh Prabhu, you want to read?
Yes, Prabhu. One should not give up, not yajit, the work born of one's nature. Sahajam karma. O son of Kunti, Kaunteya, even if such work is faulty, sadosham api, for all undertakings, sarva arambha, are covered by some fault, doshena avritah. Just as fire, Agni, is covered by smoke, dhumena iva.
Yeah, so Krishna is concluding this section. Oh, don't think that your prescribed duty has some faults. So I will give it up and take up to that duty which does not have any fault, like Brahmana duty. Previously it was told na, that, see, because the duties of a Kshatriya and others are composed of the lower gunas, ignorance and passion, people losing taste for those duties should perform the duties of Brahmana and in Sattva. This was the opposite party giving argument. So Baldev answered, saying Krishna's stance, that no, even though it may have Viguna inferior qualities, don't give up, don't take up to the superior quality which may be more attractive. Okay, so that he is concluding now. Don't think that your thing has fault. So we should better take up to some other duty which is without fault. No. Why? Because as a Vaishya or Shudra, if you just suddenly take up to Brahmana duty, then you will not be able to perform that for a long time because your guna and dharma does not allow you like that. So he told Arjuna also that, oh, you as a Kshatriya, you want to go and beg. In jungle also somebody does not give you arms, then you will fight there and you may kill him. So you will not be able to give up your duty. Nigraha kim karishyasi, like that. So don't repress your dharma or your nature, your swabhava. Act according to your nature as the Shastra prescribe, even though it may have some faults, like that. He is saying. Yeah, please read, Prabhuji.
Yes, in conditioned life, all work is contaminated by the material modes of nature. Even if one is a Brahmana, he has to perform sacrifices in which animal killing is necessary. Similarly, a Kshatriya, however pious he may be, he has to fight enemies. He cannot avoid it. Similarly, a merchant, however pious he may be, must sometimes hide his profit to stay in business, or he may sometimes have to do business on the black market. These things are necessary, one cannot avoid them. Similarly, even though a man is a Shudra serving a bad master, he has to carry out the order of the master even though it should not be done. Despite these flaws, one should continue to carry out his prescribed duties, for they are born out of his own nature.
Yeah, so Prabhupada nicely explains how each Varna has some particular fault. Like Brahmana, they may have to do sacrifices in which animal is to be killed. Correct. So we have many yagyas, Gomedha, Ashwamedha yagya, where the animals have to be sacrificed. Obviously, they get a new life of a human being or same species. Kshatriya also, they have to kill the opposite armies, fight the enemies. And merchant, they may have to tell lies. And Shudra, they may have to serve a bad master. Okay. So these are all for those who are doing the Shakam karma to Nishkam karma, the Varnashma duties for them. These are the consideration. But despite all these flaws, Vigunaha, one should continue to do his prescribed duties even though it may have some faults because it will elevate them to the higher modes. Yeah, please continue.
A very nice example is given herein. Although fire is pure, still there is a smoke. Yet smoke does not make the fire impure. Even though there is a smoke in the fire, fire is still considered to be the purest of all elements. If one prefers to give up the work of a Kshatriya and take up the occupation of a Brahmana, he is not assured that in the occupation of a Brahmana there are no unpleasant duties. One may then conclude that in the material world no one can be completely free from the contamination of material nature. This example of fire and smoke is very appropriate in this connection.
Yeah, so that's what Krishna is giving this example that, oh, yeah, you may think that fire is so useful, so bright, so nice, so much it gives warmth. But after some time or before it is fully blazing fire, it is giving smoke which may bring out tears in our eyes. So smoke is surely faulty and difficult to tolerate. Correct. We may have seen in household, sometimes in villages, they have this wooden fire. Before cooking, they have to light it up. So initially there is a lot of struggle. Actually, a lot of smoke is going into the eyes. So one may think, "Arey, itna धुआं निकल रहा है, छोड़ दो इसको." Then no cooking will happen only. So that's why the thing cannot be given up just because it has a bad part. Okay, so everything comes as a full package. Every person, every relationship, every community, every social order, it has some good things, it has some bad parts. That has we have to accept. Why it has like that? Because this is material world. The material world, there will be all the both the things will be there. Something good, something bad in every person, every relationship, everything. There will be something, and we have to accept both. Okay, the whole package has to be accepted. So same thing Krishna is saying. You accept it, do it, then you will get elevated because it's the prescribed duties in the Shastra. Yeah, please continue.
When in winter time one takes a stone from the fire, sometimes smoke disturbs the eyes and other parts of the body, but still one must make use of the fire despite disturbing conditions. Similarly, one should not give up his natural occupation because there are some disturbing elements. Rather, one should be determined to serve the Supreme Lord by his occupational duty in Krishna consciousness. That is the perfectional point. When a particular type of occupation is performed for the satisfaction of the Supreme Lord, all the defects in that particular occupation are purified. When the results of work are purified, when connected with devotional service, one becomes perfect in seeing the self within, and that is self-realization.
Yeah. So, yeah, same example what we already discussed actually. Yeah. So thinking that, oh, it is faulty, one should not give up his natural position because there are some disturbing things. But what will happen? One will get purified, okay, in that particular occupation, and then he will get elevated. Okay. And obviously this karma yoga and jnana yoga, all they have to do devotional elements also. The devotional service part also they have to do. Otherwise, the results will not come by their karma or jnana. Correct. Tapasvino, jnana para, yashasvino, manasvino, mantra vidha, sumangala. Chemam na vindanti. They will not get chema or the success. When vina yadarpanam, vina doing arpana of that karma or jnana to Krishna. Tasmai Subhadra Shravashe Namo Namaha, second canto, fourth chapter. So unto that Subhadra, I offer my obeisances like that. Yeah, please read.
There is never any fault in the activities of the lower varnas, such as fighting for the Kshatriya. The Brahmana dharma is similar. Prescribed actions related to one's nature arising from impression of previous lives, even if mixed with faults such as violence, should never be rejected. Rather, they should be done thinking that they are faultless, thinking of them as activities of Brahman. Because they are prescribed, one should do them. The activities of all the Varnas, including those of the Brahmana, are spread with some fault, since they are all composed of the gunas and must be accomplished by material ingredients.
Yeah, so same thing we have been discussing that prescribed actions related to one's nature as per one's swabhava is there that has to be performed. Okay, even if mixed with some faults such as violence, the example was given earlier. Okay, because they are prescribed, one should do them like that. Yeah.
It is just like smoke covering fire. By removing the smoke, which is portion of the fire, the heat portion is used to eliminate the cold. Thus, removing the fault by offering the actions to the Lord, one should utilize the remaining portion which generates jnana in order to realize the Atma.
Yeah, so same thing. Just because it is having smoke, one should not give up. And how to overcome that fault which is there in that Brahmana activities, Kshatriya activities, or all these activities have some fault. So the question is how to overcome. He is saying the removing the fault by offering the actions. Yat karoshi, yad ashnasi, yad juhosi, dadati yat tat kurus swamadarpanam. Yat tapasyasi kontya tat kurus swamadarpanam. Do everything and do it as an offering to me, then the faults will be removed of that action. Instead of giving up the action, do it as an offering to me. Okay. What will happen by that? By doing such kind of karma yoga, you will be generating jnana. You will be qualified for jnana yoga. Okay. Which will be the next section now, 49 onwards. Okay. So confidential knowledge from reaction free work, Nishkam Karma Yoga, does not give any reaction. Okay, through Gyan Yoga to the Brahman platform and pure bhakti. Okay, so like that the progression will go now. Nishkam Karma Yoga, reaction free work, knowledge will generate, one will be qualified for Gyan Yoga. Then one comes in touch of devotees, then he can become bhakti practitioner. Okay, obviously bhakti yoga will start after 55. Okay, till Sarvadharman Parityajya. Okay. Now we will do this section of how one by doing Nishkam Karma Yoga purifies his heart and becomes qualified for Jnana and practices Jnana Yoga. So this section, keep in mind, is for Jnana Yogi, practitioners of Jnana Yoga. Okay. Asakta buddhi sarvatra jitatma vigata spriha nishkarmyam siddhim paramam sanyasena adhigacchati. Yeah, Amit Prabhu, you want to read?
Hare Krishna Guruji, Dandavat.
Yeah.
One whose intelligence is unattached everywhere, who has controlled the self, and who is free from desire attains the supreme perfection of freedom from reaction through renunciation.
Yeah. So now Krishna is saying one whose intelligence is unattached everywhere. Asakta. Sakta means to be attached. Asakta means unattached. Asakta buddhi sarvatra towards all the sense objects. Who has controlled the self? Jitatma. Jit Atma. He has conquered the self, yeah. And who is free from desires? Vigata spriha. Free from which desire? All kinds of desire? No, that is never possible. One can never be free of all kinds of desire. Free of the desire to enjoy the fruits of the result of the activity. Okay, that he has given up. That I will not enjoy the fruits of the my activity. Vigata spriha, he is called. Attains the supreme perfection of freedom from reaction. Nesh karmyam siddhim. So, first, okay, please understand this carefully. First step is doing sakama karma yoga. Doing activities and being attached to fruits of the activity. That is called sakama karma yoga. Then from there one comes to nishkama karma yoga, where one does activity, but he is nishkam towards the fruits. Okay, he is not attached to fruits. That is second level. After this, when one practices this practice he does, then he becomes qualified for Jnana Yoga. That is the third stage, where he can give up the activity. And there is no activity, there is no question of fruits. Okay, this is the yoga ladder. Okay, this is how first 6 chapters of Bhagavad Gita is explained. That same thing Krishna is saying now, that one who is free from desire, which desire? Not to enjoy the fruits, Vigata Spriya, attains the supreme perfection of freedom from reaction. Nashkarmyam. He will not get any reaction, even though he is doing activity, but there is no reaction for him. Why? Why there is no reaction? For this person, there is reaction. He will go to heaven. He will get reaction to his activity. This person, there is no reaction. Why? Why such injustice? No, it is not injustice. Because he does not have the desire for fruits, there will be no reaction. Okay. So, that's why he is called Nash Karmyam Siddhim Paramam. Through renunciation, sannyasena adhigacchati. What sannyas did he have? Did he wear the dress of a sannyasi? No, sannyas was from the fruits of the activity. Yeah, please read.
Real renunciation means that one should always think of himself part and parcel of the Supreme Lord, and therefore think that he has no right to enjoy the results of his work. Since he is part and parcel of the Supreme Lord, the results of his work must be enjoyed by the Supreme Lord. This is actually Krishna consciousness. The person acting in Krishna consciousness is really a sannyasi, one in the renounced order of life. By such a mentality, one is satisfied because he is actually acting for the Supreme.
Yeah. So Krishna, now Prabhupada is making it applicable or dovetailing it for Krishna consciousness. These principles can be also applied and used for Krishna consciousness. Prabhupada is dovetailing it. So he is saying that, yeah, actually this renunciation of work, results of his work should be done, and that should be offered to Krishna. This part, offering to Krishna, when one does, then it becomes bhakti. Then becomes Krishna consciousness. And instead of not offering it to anybody, like here, this person, Niskam Karmi Yogi, he is not offering fruits to Krishna. He is just leaving the fruits. So it is very difficult actually to do that. To not offer the fruits to anybody and just get it wasted like that. It's very difficult. But for devotees, for us, it is easy. We can do it for Krishna. Okay. So instead of making the glass full of keeping it, removing all the air, making it vacuum, very, very difficult. But if you want to remove the air, just put water in it. The air will be automatically removed. So that is the principle. So bhakti, we can remove the air from the glass very easily by filling it with Krishna consciousness. But for the Nishkam Karma Yogi, it's very difficult to make the whole fruits give up and not to enjoy and not to offer also to somebody. like that. Yeah, please read.
Thus, he is not attached to anything material. He becomes accustomed to not taking pleasure in anything beyond the transcendental happiness derived from the service of the Lord. A sannyasi is supposed to be free from the reactions of his past activities. But a person who is in Krishna consciousness automatically attains this perfection without even accepting the so called order of renunciation. This state of mind is called Yoga Rudha, or the perfectional stage of yoga. As confirmed in the third chapter, Yastva Atma Ratir Eva Syat. One who is satisfied in himself has no fear of any kind of reaction from his activity.
Yeah, so now who is a sannyasi in Krishna consciousness? So here Prabhupada is defining sannyasi is supposed to be free from the reactions of the past. Obviously, this sannyasi used in this verse is technically for Gyan Yoga, which Baldev Vidyabhushan in the purport now we will read, he will explain. But Prabhupada is making the purport in applicable to Krishna consciousness. So he is saying that supposed to be free from reactions of his past activities. But a person who is in Krishna consciousness automatically attains perfection without even accepting the so-called dress or the order of sannyasi. So in Krishna consciousness, even a housewife is a greatest sannyasi. He is better than a sannyasi of Gyan Yoga. Why? Because she has completely understood the essence of all the shastra, that practicing bhakti is the essence. So she is greater than a housewife, is greater than a sannyasi in Gyan Yoga actually. Okay, like that. And this is Yoga Ruda. Actually, the Yoga Ruda is a technical term explained in the 6th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, where it is for Gyan Yogi. Okay, so here, this chart where I drew, this person who has given up the activity, he is called Yoga Ruda. Gyan Yogi is called Yoga Ruda. And while he is going from here to here, he is called Yoga Rurukshu. Okay, just beginning to give up the activities. Okay, and when he perfects, then he becomes Yoga Ruda. That is a technical term in 6th chapter. Yeah. So Prabhupada is telling in Krishna consciousness, a person is really a sannyasi, like that. One in renounced order of life. Yeah. That is, sorry, here, Yoga Ruda, he was saying. Yeah, please read this. Baldev Vidyabhushan. Sorry, Sri Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur said there. We'll read Baldev Vidyabhushan. Yeah, please read.
The aspirant for liberation,
Aruruksha. Yeah.
Aruruksha,
Yeah.
Sanishta, fixed in doing his duties after having realized his swarupa by being fixed in karma, which contains jnana within it, should give up completely that level of karma. That is explained in this verse.
Okay. So yesterday we discussed, if you remember, we discussed one example of rice grain. Okay. So there is a husk outside. That husk is compared to the Karma Yoga, Nishkam Karma Yoga. And the inside part, grain, which is there, which is to be cooked and eaten, that is compared to Gyan Yoga. This is an analogy of Baldev Vidyabhushan, and he is saying that again here. So he is saying, okay, this Sanishta term is a technical term. He explains in the beginning. But understand, Sanishta means that person who is a Karma Yoga practitioner. Okay, Sakam Karma Yoga or Nishkam Karma Yoga practitioner. Okay. So he is fixed in doing his duties after having realized the Swarupa by being fixed in karma, which contains jnana. Okay, so this is the analogy which he gives. So karma, this is the husk, contains jnana. What is the need of husk? It protects the rice grain. Correct. If that is not there, the grain will not be protected. So Nishkam Karma Yoga protects the jnana. Okay, and it internally grows like that. Yeah, continue.
He whose intelligence is unattached to all things except Atma, because his mind is under control from testing the bliss of Atma, and because he is devoid of desires for the varieties of happiness derived from objects other than Atma, attains the highest perfection called Yoga Rudha, characterized by non action. Through renouncing through renouncing completely all actions which are causes of disturbance in testing of Atma. This has also already been stated in the third chapter, Yas Tva Atma Pratir Eva Syat.
Yeah, okay. So this part a little technical. We'll not go in detail about it. But same thing as we explained, that he is devoid of desires to enjoy varieties of happiness of the fruits what he may be getting. And then gradually by giving up the desire to enjoy, he becomes advanced and he comes to yoga road means he becomes now practicing Gyan Yoga. Okay. So giving up desires was Nishkam Karma Yoga without desire to enjoy the fruits. Then he becomes Gyan Yoga practitioner and he becomes characterized by non-action. Okay. What is non-action? I explained already here. So no activity in the third stage. Okay, he was doing activity with fruits. Second, with the activity, no fruits. Then no activity and no fruits. So this is a gradual elevation. So now he reached to this level, non-action, no activity. Yeah. Okay. So here he said same thing what Prabhupada said, yes to Atmarati Evasyat. Yeah. Same thing. He is characterized by Atmarati. He's enjoying in the self. Yeah. Next verse 50. सिद्धिं प्राप्तो यथा ब्रह्म तथाप्नोति निबोध मे समाशेन एव कौन्तेय निष्ठा ज्ञानस्य या परा. Okay, somebody else can read. Isha Mataji, you want to read?
Yes, Roger, Hare Krishna.
Yeah, please.
O son of Kunti, learn from me briefly how one who has attained perfection attains Brahman, which is the highest stage of knowledge.
Yeah, so now Krishna is saying that the next person, this he has become detached from his activity and fruits. He can attain Brahman now. He has given up all the activity. Why? Because yastu atmarati eva syat. He is getting happiness only in the self. He will attain Brahman. Okay. The practitioner of Jnana Yoga, he will be attaining Brahman. Yeah, please read.
Yes, Roger. The Lord describes for Arjun how one can achieve the highest perfectional stage simply by being engaged in his occupational duty, performing that duty for the Supreme Personality of Godhead. One attains the supreme stage of Brahman simply by renouncing the result of his work for the satisfaction of the Supreme Lord. This is the process of self-realization. The actual perfection of knowledge is in attaining pure Krishna consciousness. This is described in the following verses.
Yeah, so it will be described Sarvadharman Parityaja, all that will be described in the following verses. So here Prabhupada is saying that, oh, this Jnana Yoga, he will get self-realization. That is not highest. Bhagavan realization will be highest. That will explain later. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, please read.
Having worshipped Hari by one's prescribed actions and consequently having attained renunciation of all actions, one attains the level of meditation on Atma through the mercy of the Lord. By being situated in the process, one realizes one's Swarup endowed with eight qualities. Please understand this process by which this happens from me, who will relate it in brief. I will also speak to you about the conclusion of knowledge concerning the Supreme Lord. Hear that also.
Yeah, so very simple. What Baldev Vidabhushan is explaining is that this person, he has worshipped Hari by what? By one's prescribed actions. Correct. We discussed earlier, previous section. One does his prescribed activity, gradually he becomes purified and goes above, higher in the yoga ladder. Correct. So he did Nishkam Karma Yoga, did his prescribed actions, and consequently attained renunciation. He got Jnana. He became a sannyasi, a Jnana Yoga sannyasi, karma sannyasi. He gave up the karma. And one attains the level of meditation on Atma. Atma Jnana he received by mercy of Lord, like that is explained. So by being situated in that process of Nishkam Karma Yoga to Jnana Yoga, one realizes one's Swarupa endowed with 8 qualities. Okay. So please understand this process by which this happens from me, who will relate. Okay, this will come in the future. Now he's saying in the few verses. Yeah, so these 3 verses it will come here. Yeah. So 51 to 53. Buddhaya vishuddhaya yukto dhrityatmanam niyamya cha shabdani sabdadin vishayams tyaktva ragadvesho vyudasya cha विविक्तसेवी लघुवाशी यतवाक्काय मानसः ध्यानयोगपरो नित्यं वैराग्यं समुपाश्रिताः अहङ्कारं बलं दर्पं कामं क्रोधं परिग्रहं विमुच्य निर्ममः शान्तो ब्रह्म भूयाय कल्पते. Yeah, Nimai Rajendra Prabhu, you want to read?
Yes. Being purified by intelligence, buddhaya vishuddhaya, controlling oneself with determination, dritya atmanam niyamya, giving up the objects of sense enjoyment such as sound, shabdadin vishayan tyaktva, casting aside attachment and hatred, raga dvesho vidyasya, living in a secluded place, vivikta sevi, eating lightly, laghu ashi, controlling speech, body and mind, yat vak kaya manasa, always absorbed in meditation, dhyana yoga para nityam, taking shelter of detachment, vairagyam samupashrita, giving up false ego, false strength, false pride, lust, anger, and acceptance of material things, ahankaram, balam, darpam, kamam, krodham, parigraham, vimuchya, becoming free from possessiveness and peaceful, nir, nirma, nirmamaha shantaha, one becomes qualified, kalpate, for Brahman realization, Brahma bhuyaya.
Yeah, how this Niskam Karma Yogi now will become the Jnana Yogi, what all he had to do, what all he has to do, that is explained in this verse now. That he has to do all these things. Okay. Yeah, please read.
When one is purified by intelligence, he keeps himself in the mode of goodness. Thus, one becomes the controller of the mind and is always in trance. He is not attached to the objects of sense gratification, and he is free from attachment and hatred in his activities. Such a detached person naturally prefers to live in a secluded place. He does not eat more than what he requires, and he controls the activities of his body and mind. He has no false ego because he does not accept the body as himself, nor has he a desire to make the body fat and strong by accepting so many material things. Be-
Yeah. Continue.
Because he has no bodily concept of life, he is not falsely proud. He is satisfied with everything that is offered to him by the grace of the Lord, and he is never angry in the absence of sense gratification, nor does he endeavor to acquire sense objects. Thus, when he is completely free from false ego, he becomes non attached to all material things, and that is the stage of self realization of Brahman. That stage is called the Brahma Bhuta stage. Srimad Bhagavatam, 4th canto, 30 chapter, 20th verse. When one is free from the material conception of life, he becomes peaceful and cannot be agitated.
Yeah, so this is what are the characteristics of a Jnana Yogi. Yeah, continue.
This is described in Bhagavad Gita, 2nd chapter, 70th verse. Apuryamanam manam achala pratishtham samudram apaha pravishanti yadvat tadvat kama yama pravishanti sarve sa shanti mapnoti na kama kami. A person who is not disturbed by the incessant flow of desires that enter like rivers into the ocean, which is ever being filled but is always still, can alone achieve peace, and not the man who strives to satisfy such desires.
Yeah, so this is Atmarati Vasyat, this same section in the 2nd chapter, where actually this Sthita Prajna is being described. Who is the Sthita Prajna Jnana Yogi? Who has attained the highest perfection of Jnana Yoga, Yoga Rudha stage. He is Sthita Prajna, means his senses are not moved. Example is given here. The ocean is not moved when so many rivers are coming into it. So many desires may be coming into the mind of the Jnana Yogi, but he is detached from all that. Yeah. Yeah, please read Vishwanath. Okay. Baldev Vidyabhushan's. Yeah, please read.
These verses describe the process. Utilizing Sattvika intelligence, Vishuddhaya Buddhaya, and similar determination, Dhritya, restricting the mind, Atmanam Niyamya, making it suitable for Samadhi, dealing with the collection of sense objects such as sound, rejecting at a distant Vyudasya, traction and repulsion, which are directed to the sense objects, living alone, Vivikta Sevi, controlling eating, Lagavashi, turning voice, body, and mind towards the object of meditation, constantly, nityam, absorbing the mind in thinking of the Lord, dhyana yoga para, renouncing all things other than atma, vairagyam, freed from identification with body, ahankaraha, freed from the impressions which increases that identification, balam, freed from pride, darpa, which is caused by strengthening the false identity with the body, freed from hankering, kama, for enjoyable items which have been taken away by the force of finished prarabdha karmas, freed from anger when one's possessions have been stolen by others, freed from possessing things, which is the action resulting from false identification, freed from worldly connections, nirmamaha, one realizes the form of one's Atma with 8 qualities, Brahma Bhuyaya Kalpate, that person is peaceful like an ocean without waves, Shantaha.
Yeah, so this is a description of a Jnana Yogi who is almost like no action or no reaction when somebody steals something, somebody says some bad words, all these things like that. Yeah, he is in Samadhi, suitable for Samadhi. Yeah. Next. So what is the culmination of this all Brahma realized person or situated in Brahma platform? So he says Brahma Bhuta Prasannatma Na Sochati Na Kankshati Sama Sarveshu Bhuteshu Mad Bhaktim Labate Param. Okay, yes. Vrajananda Krishna Prabhu, you can read.
One who is thus transcendently situated at once becomes fully joyful. He never laments nor desires to have anything. He is equally disposed towards every living entity. In that state, he attains pure devotional service unto me.
Yeah. So now he is saying Mad Bhaktim Labate Param. Yeah, also one thing I forgot to tell here. Yeah. So here there are some limbs where it seems like he is doing bhakti also, like absorbing the mind in thinking of the Lord, dhyana. So yeah, some limbs of jnana will also have bhakti elements as we discussed. So the Jnana Yogi has a lot of elements of jnana and little bit of bhakti also will be there. Why? Otherwise jnana will not give its results. Okay, so Vaikuntha Dhyanam, Srimad Bhagavatam third canto, it's explained Kapila section that how the Jnana Yogi also has to meditate on the limbs of the Lord, on the eyes, Hasam Harer Vimukha. So there are so many verses where he has to uh, meditate on the form of the Lord, eyes of the Lord, and the nasika of the Lord. Basically, all the features of the Lord's body also. Vaikuntha Dhyanam he has to do. So these limbs are there so that the jnana, which is a sattvic process, will give results like attaining Brahman. So same thing here. One who is thus transcendently situated means Brahma Bhuta. What is this transcendental situation? That was explained in last verse. That means he has no sochati, na kankshati, no desires, no lamentation. Okay, he is completely absorbed in Brahman, in Samadhi. So, such a person in that state, he attains pure devotional service unto me if he gets the association of devotee. Okay, that is to be understood here. Because without association of devotee, nobody gets bhakti. Yeah, please read.
To the impersonalist, achieving the Brahma Bhuta stage, becoming one with the Absolute, is the last word. But for the personalist or pure devotee, one has to go still further to become engaged in pure devotional service. This means that one who is engaged in pure devotional service to the Supreme Lord is already in the state of liberation called Brahma Bhuta, oneness with the Absolute. Without being one with the Supreme, the Absolute, one cannot render service unto him. In the Absolute conception, there is no difference between the served and the servitor. Yet the distinction is there in a higher spiritual sense.
Yeah, so same thing. Prabhupada explaining that these people who are explained in this verse, Brahma Bhuta people, impersonalists, Jnana Yogis, They achieve Brahmabhuta stage, become one with absolute, merge in Brahman. But for devotees, those who are personalist worshipper of Bhagavan, has to go still further to become engaged in devotional service, which is higher, because it said that one who is engaged in bhakti is already liberated. This is a reference given, 4:30:20. A devotee is already liberated. And there is another verse, Bhavapavargo Brahmata Yada Bhavet, Janasya Moho Tarihi Yat Achyut Sat Samagama. Okay, 10th canto, 53rd chapter, Mukunda. Lord, sorry, what is his name? Muchukunda. Muchukunda. Muchukunda is offering these prayers to Krishna. So he is saying that, yeah, Bhavapavargo Brahmata Yada Bhavet Janasya Tari Achyut Sat Samagamam. That once material life is already seized or already over, when he comes in touch with devotees. How when he is coming in touch with devotees, it's already over? Because the result, that is attaining liberation or attaining the abode of the Lord, is so quickly it is going to happen that even before the result comes, the result is guaranteed. Like that he says. So for devotee who is engaged in bhakti is already liberated, like that. That's why many times Prabhupada says this, that devotees are always already liberated. But sometimes we may not understand what he is meaning. This is the meaning, that liberation is going to come very quickly. Just by chanting one Namabhas, which Ajamil also chanted. He was not practicing any bhakti also. He also became liberated. What to speak of devotees who are doing it with faith? Ajamil did not have any faith. So they are chanting even more purer names, more than Namabhas, like that. So for them, liberation already guaranteed, like that is described. So without being one with the Supreme, the Absolute, one cannot render service unto him. Okay. So Prabhupada many times gave this analogy. Without being fiery, you cannot enter fire. So without being spiritual, you cannot enter the spiritual world, like that. So that is understanding. Okay. Yeah, please read.
In the material concept of life, when one works for the sense gratification, there is a misery. But in the absolute world, when one is engaged in pure devotional service, there is no misery. The devotee in Krishna consciousness has nothing for which to lament or desire. Since God is full, the living entity who is engaged in God's service in Krishna consciousness becomes also full in himself. He is just like a river cleansed of all dirty water. Because a pure devotee has no thought other than Krishna, who is naturally always joyful.
Yes. So devotee is always joyful, happy, na sochti, na kankshati. These qualities are also for devotees. Yeah, continue.
He does not lament for any material loss or aspire for gain because he is fully in service of the Lord. He has no desire for material enjoyment because he knows that every living entity is a fragmental part and parcel of the Supreme Lord and therefore eternally a servant. He does not see in the material world someone is higher and someone as lower. Higher and lower positions are ephemeral, and a devotee has nothing to do with the ephemeral appearances or disappearances. For him, stone and gold are of equal value. This is the Brahma Bhuta stage from Bhagavatam 4:30-20, and the stage is attained very easily by a pure devotee.
Yeah. Yeah, please read.
In their stage of existence, the idea of becoming one with the Supreme Brahman and annihilating one's individuality becomes hellish. The idea of attaining the heavenly kingdom becomes a phantasmagoria, and the senses are like serpents whose poisonous teeth are broken. As there is no fear of a servant with the broken teeth, there is no fear from the senses when they are automatically controlled. The world is miserable for the materially infected person, but for a devotee, the entire world is as good as Vaikuntha or the spiritual sky. The highest personality in this material universe is no more significant than an ant for a devotee. Such a stage can be achieved by the mercy of the Lord Chaitanya, who preached pure devotional service in this age.
Yeah. So Prabhupada is quoting this verse, that Kaivalyam Narkayate Tiridash Pura Akasha Pushpayate Durdanta Kala Sarpa Patli Podkhat damshtraite. That shloka he is quoting to say that how actually the bhakti is much higher than this Brahman platform. These people who are attaining Brahman platform, na sochti na kankshati, have no other desires like that. For devotee, it is very easy like that. So he attains this all automatically. His senses are controlled because he is worshipping Rishikesha, who is master of the Rishikas, the senses, like that. Yeah. For a devotee, entire world is as good as Vaikuntha. Okay. So the world is miserable for those who are afflicted with lust, anger, greed, envy, illusion, pride. But for one who is a pure devotee, who is a devotee, he has understood the purpose of life is Krishna consciousness. He engages everything of this world, and that's why it is as Vaikuntha. So Narayana para sarve, na kutaschana, na bibhyati, swarga apavarga narkeshu, api tulya artha darshina. He sees equal value in all these things. Tulya artha. In what? Narayana para sarve. Who is seeing Narayana para? Why devotee who is Narayana, devotee of Narayana. Sarve, na kutaschana and na bibhyati. He never is fearful of any situation. Swarga, Apavarga, and Narka. All these things. He sees equal value in all these things. Why? Because everywhere bhakti can be practiced equally. The more we are in conditioned stage, that much it is more difficult to practice in hell and other difficult places. But though as one is more purified, it's equal for them. Like that. So this shloka is obviously told by Lord Shiva to Mother Parvati at the end of sixth canto. So as a great devotee, Shiva is saying, and for great devotees, they are all equal. Like that. Yeah. So highest personality in this material universe is no more significant than ant for a devotee. Yes. Okay. So this is by mercy of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Okay, so 55 is the last verse we will do. And before we go to 55, we'll read Baldev Vidyabhushan's commentary. One page, yeah. Yeah, please read, Floji.
This
Mataji was
verse,
reading. Yeah, please, yeah.
this verse speaks of attainment after realizing Atma.
Mm.
Having realized this Swarupa with 8 qualities, Brahma Bhuta, being extremely pure, Prasannatma, because of the departure of desire, which matures as karma and suffering. He thus does not lament for or hanker after anything except me. He considers equal all high and low entities other than me, thinking them all inferior like earth or wood. In this state, he attains supreme bhakti in the form of the realization of me, the perfected bhakti in which one attains a form similar to mine. I previously mentioned this bhakti with the word Nishtam Jnanasya Yapara, the conclusion of knowledge concerning me, Bhagavad Gita 18:15. The word prasanna is used in this sense of very pure as the phrase prasanna salila, very pure water.
Yeah, so now again Krishna is speaking this verse about Jnana Yogi only, realized Atma. For him does not have any lamentation, na sochti, na kankshati. Samah sarveshu bhuteshu. Samah, he sees everything, sarva bhuteshu, all living entities equal, all living entities, lower or higher, like that. He attains mad bhakti lavate param, like that. The perfected bhakti in which one attains a form similar to mine. Okay. So he will get sarupya kind of thing, mukti. Last verse of this section 55. भक्त्या माम अभिजानाति यावन यश्चास्मि तत्त्वतः ततो माम तत्त्वतो ज्ञात्वा विशते तदनन्तरम. Somebody else can read. Yes, Ashwini Mataji, you want to read?
Only by devotional service, bhaktya, can one understand Avijananti, me, mam, as I am, yavan yaha cha ashmi, in truth, tattvataha. And when one is in full consciousness of me through such devotion, tata tattvataha jnanatva, he enters vishate into the kingdom of God,
Yeah,
Anantara.
thank you. Yeah, so now Krishna is telling about Bhakti Yogi, a devotee. So he is contrasting. Now, next section is going to come about Bhakti Yoga. He is contrasting this Jnana Yogi with Bhakti Yogi. So only by devotional service bhaktya mam abhijanati, one can understand me as I am. As I am means what? He can understand me as the Shyama Sundar Yashodanandan, Vrajendra Nandan. Like that he can understand me. This Brahman people also understand me, but they understand me only as a Brahman. At the max, Ashtang Yogi will understand as me as a Paramatma. That will also come in between before Bhakti. So here he is saying as I am means what? As Yashodanandan, Rajendra Nandan, Shyam Sundar Krishna. Okay, that is the meaning. As I am in truth, Tattvataha. That is the meaning here. And one is when one is in full Krishna consciousness of me, through such devotion, he enters into kingdom of God. Please read.
Srila Prabhupada. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, and his plenary portions cannot be understood by mental speculation nor by the non devotees. If anyone wants to understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he has to take the pure devotional service under the guidance of a pure devotee. Otherwise, the truth of the Supreme Personality of Godhead will always be hidden. As already stated in Bhagavad Gita 7.25, Naham Prakasha Sarvasya. He is not revealed to everyone. No one can understand God simply by erudite scholarship or mental speculation. Only one who is actually engaged in Krishna consciousness and devotional service can understand what Krishna is. University degrees are not helpful.
Yeah, so Prabhupada is saying more about Bhakti Yoga and he is contrasting with mental speculation is Jnana Yoga. Cannot be understood by them or non-devotees, atheists. They cannot understand Krishna Bhaktya Mam Abhijanati Yavan Yaschasmi Tattvataha as I am. Yeah. Yogamaya Samavrita. Why I am not understood? Mudhoyam na abhijanati Yogamaya Samavrita. Because I am already hidden. By what? Yogamaya. By my Yogamaya, I cover myself like that. Naham prakasa sarvasya Yogamaya Samavrita. Like that. And one cannot know me by erudite scholarship. So one may think that I will know Krishna by doing scientific experiments and all. So this scholarship, please don't understand it is about studying bhakti scriptures. Studying bhakti scriptures is the anga of bhakti. That has to be done. Okay, this scholarship is about Gyan Yoga, Gyani, those kind of things. Okay. Yeah. Please read.
One who is fully conversant with the Krishna science becomes eligible to enter into the spiritual kingdom, the abode of Krishna. Becoming Brahman does not mean that one loses his identity. Devotional service is there, and as long as devotional service exists, there must be God, the devotee, and the process of devotional service. Such knowledge is never vanquished, even after liberation. Liberation involves getting free from the concept of material life. In spiritual life, the same distinction is there, the same individuality is there, but in pure Krishna consciousness.
Yeah. So fully conversant with Krishna science becomes eligible to enter Krishna's kingdom, basically. Yeah. So, and one may enter Brahman. That does not mean that he will lose his identity. He will remain individual like that. Yeah. Yeah. Continue.
One should not mistakenly think that the word visate enters into me supports the monist theory that one becomes homogeneous with the impersonal Brahman. No, visate means that one can enter into the abode of the Supreme Lord in one's individuality to engage in his association and render service unto him. For instance, a green bird enters a green tree not to become one with the tree but to enjoy the fruits of the tree. Impersonalists generally give the example of a river flowing into the ocean and merging.
Yeah. Yes. Continue.
This may be a source of happiness for the impersonalist, but the personalist keeps his personal individuality like an aquatic in the ocean. We find so many living entities within the ocean if we go deep. Surface acquaintance with the ocean is not sufficient. One must have complete knowledge of the aquatics living in the ocean depths. Because of his pure devotional service, a devotee can understand the transcendental qualities and the opulences of the Supreme Lord in truth. As it is stated in the 11th chapter, only by devotional service can one understand. The same is confirmed here. One can understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead by devotional service and enter into his kingdom.
Yeah. Yeah, continue.
After attainment of the Brahma Bhutaha, Srimad Bhagavatam 4.30.20, a state of his freedom from material conceptions, devotional service begins by one's hearing about the Lord. When one hears about the Supreme Lord, automatically the Brahma Bhuta stage develops, and material contamination, greediness, and the lust for sense enjoyment disappears. As uh, lust and desire disappears from the heart of a devotee, he becomes more attached to the service of the Lord, and by such attachment, he becomes free from material contamination. In that state of life, he can understand the Supreme Lord. This is the statement of Srimad Bhagavatam also.
Yeah, so Prabhupada is saying how this Brahma Bhuta person can also become devotee. So here it is mentioned that by hearing about the Lord. So when he comes in association of devotee, then he will hear about the Lord, then he can become a devotee. So when one hears about Supreme Lord, automatically the Brahma Bhuta stage develops and one becomes free of all material contamination, like that. Lust, anger, greed, envy from the heart of a devotee is all removed. It all disappears. So Vikriditam Vrajvadhu Viridam cha Vishnu Shraddhanvito Atha Shrunayad Atha Varnayedyah Bhaktim Param Bhagavatim Pratilabhya Kamam Hridrogam Ashu Apahinoti Achirena Dhiraha. So Hridroga Ashu very quickly Apahinoti will go away, disappear. When one hears about or describes about Vikriditam Vrajavadhu, the pastimes of Krishna with Vrajavadhu, with the gopis, like that. Sukadeva Goswami says. So that is the process of bhakti, hearing. Yeah, continue.
Yes. After liberation, the process of bhakti or transcendental service continues. The Vedanta Sutra 4.1.12 confirms this. A prayanat tatrapi hi drishtam. This means that after liberation, the process of devotional service continues. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, real devotional liberation is defined as the reinstatement of the living entity in his own identity, his own constitutional position. The constitutional position is already explained. Every living entity is a part and parcel, fragmental portion of the Supreme Lord. Therefore, his constitutional position is to serve. After liberation, this service is never stopped. Actual liberation is getting free from misconceptions of life.
Just 1 minute. Yeah, so Prabhupada is telling a very important point. One thing here that after liberation also bhakti continues. Okay, quoting from Vedanta Sutra, prayanat. Okay, tatrapi hi drishtam. So after liberation, the process of devotional service continues like that. So the real devotional liberation is defined as the reinstatement of the living entity. Muktirhitva anyatha rupam swarupena vyavasthitihi. To be established in his own swarupa, his own constitutional position. That is what is described. What is constitutional position? So Jivera Swarupa hai Krishnera Nityadas to serve. Yeah. Yeah, please read.
Yes, Vayodeva. This verse further explains the condition. By Supreme, pure bhakti to me. He realizes Abhijananti, me, to what extent Yavan, I exist, Yah Ashu, with my Swarupa, qualities and powers, Tattvataha. Then, Tataha, having realized Mam Nyatva, me in terms of the form, qualities and powers, as I am, Tattvataha, by means of the process of Supreme Bhakti. He is united with me, Visate, because of having that realization, that Antarat, Anantaram. When a person enters a city, it is perceived that he merges into the city. However, he does not become the city. This is the usage of the word Visate to enter.
Yeah, so one may think, oh, one becomes Brahma realized, enters into Brahman, he merges. So no, it's not like that. The example is given of a city. Or earlier, Prabhupada gave the example of a bird entering the tree. See, it's not that the bird became one with the tree. No, bird is going to the tree, he's eating the fruits, makes a nest, stays there, like that. And Baldev Vidyabhushan has given this example of the city. He goes to the city, makes a house, takes the house on rent, stays there, lives there, eats there. All these things are happening like that. Yeah, continue.
It should be understood that what is stated here is that bhakti alone is the cause of both realizing the Lord in truth and joining Him. This is understood from the previous statement. Bhaktya Ananyaha Satyah, Bhagavad Gita 11.54. That Anantaram means after that. Therefore, the sentence means having truly realized by form, qualities, and vibhutis. Only after that, that Anantaram, he joins me. Or Tat Anantaram can mean taking that bhakti alone. The whole sentence would then mean then Tataha, understanding me in truth by pure bhakti, Mam Tattvatoho Jnatva, taking that bhakti alone, Tat Anantaram, he joins me. Visate.
Okay. Very little technical explanation. Yeah. Okay. Just 1 minute. Huh? Yeah, last slide. Yeah. Yeah, complete this. Yeah.
It is stated by the author of Vedanta that even in liberation, bhakti still exists. Ap-
The same
Aprayam-
thing Prabhupada quoted Vedanta Sutra. Yeah. Please read.
yeah. It is seen in the scriptures that after liberation, even then, in liberation, bhakti continues to exist because this is seen from scriptural statements. Hridrishtam, Vedanta Sutra 4.1.12. For those who have destroyed ignorance through bhakti, the taste for bhakti increases. Just as for those who take sugar candy and destroy jaundice, sugar candy becomes sweet. This is the conclusion of those who know the most spirit knowledge. In this way, the method of practice, sadhana, and attainment, sadhya, has been stated for the Sanishtha Bhaktas. Note, the Sanishtha Bhaktas are those situated in the Varnashrama system.
Yeah, so this is footnote by Bhanuswami Maharaj. So basically, this whole thing is explained for those who are practitioners of Nishkam Karma Yoga, the Varnashrama system practitioners. By this sadhana, the sadhana explained previous verse that how he will be not succumbing to the sense objects and not na sochati na kankshati. All these things, such a big list was given, 3 verses together, na 53, 54, 55, all that. So that all is for Nishkam Karma Yoga Varnashrama people. And by that they will become they will do this sadhana and they will become Jnana Yogi and then merge into Brahman like that. This is a sequence. And next time we will discuss about the Paramatma. Okay, Krishna will tell about 3 verses about Paramatma, that how our Brahman realization is the Paramatma realization. And then Krishna will start telling about Bhakti, the Shuddha Bhakti, Bhagwan realization. Okay, and then at the end he will tell about how studying this Bhagavad Gita one will benefit, what are the benefits, and what is the benefit of preaching this message. And he will ask Arjuna if he still have more doubts. I'll explain this whole Bhagavad Gita again, like that he will say. So these all things he will explain, and then Sanjaya will explain that how hearing this Bhagavad Gita, his hairs are standing on end, and Krishna and Arjuna together will be victorious. Like that, we will end the Bhagavad Gita mostly next week. Yeah, any questions are there? Santosh too.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare
Prabhuji,
Krishna.
one small doubt, this merging into Brahman. So,
Yeah,
Srila Prabhupada says that it is like merging a tree, merging of a bird in the tree.
yeah.
So, is that true for Sayujya Mukti as well?
Yeah, that for Sayujya only he's saying.
Okay, so merging into Brahma realization is Sayujya Mukti only.
Yeah. Correct. That is Sayujya Mukti, correct. Merging into Brahman, into effulgence of the Krishna's body. That is Sayujya Mukti.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you. Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna, one question is there.
Yes, Mataji. Yeah.
Roji, for that Sayujya Mukti, Prabhupada also mentions that they after some time they fall down. So is
Okay.
it compulsory for all the aspirants of this Sayujya Mukti, all fall downs, or just few those who get desire to do something? Like,
Yeah,
how to
means
understand
this.
it?
Yeah, this question is there, means how it will help us in bhakti. I get this question many times. I don't know how it is really going to help us in bhakti, but anyhow, question is there. We can surely ask and we can get the answer. Yeah, so this is explained by Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. Actually, Prabhupada tells that this ye anya arvindaksha vimukta maninas tvayashta bhava vishuddha buddhaya. That shloka, 10th canto, he explains, Prabhupada also explains that many of them will fall. He is explaining about those who are Jivan Mukta. So Jivan Mukta are those who are still in material world, but they have not yet attained Brahman. They can fall. Okay, so I will ask you to read that commentary. You can read and see what is the answer. Uh, just 1 minute. Okay. Are you able to see the folio screen?
I can see the
Yeah, okay.
list of
Okay, so Shrimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10. Okay. Here. Okay, 10 to 32. Okay, so we will read this verse. 10 to 32. 10 to 32. Mataji, will you be able to read?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay. Okay, so this is a verse where it is mentioned. Some say that aside from devotees. Oh, okay, please read this translation.
Yes,
Yeah.
someone may say that aside from devotees who always seek shelter at the Lord's lotus feet, there are those who are not devotees but who have accepted different processes for attaining salvation. What happens to them? In answer to this question, Lord Brahma and other demigods said, O lotus eyed Lord, although non devotees who accept severe austerities and penances to achieve the highest position may think themselves liberated, their intelligence is impure. They fall down from their position of imagined superiority because they have no regard for your lotus feet.
Yeah, so question is very clear. Those who are not devotees, aside from devotees, when they attain salvation, what happens to them? Okay. And Prabhupada is saying that they will, Prabhupada means here Brahmaji is saying in answer to this question, Lord Brahma and other demigods said, yeah. So they fall down from their position of imagined superiority, vimukta maninaha. Okay, this verse is very famous. Prabhupada writes the purport also in that same way. Okay. And we will read the commentary by Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. Okay. So, okay. Hmm. Okay, please read from here.
Though they have purified their hearts, having controlled lust and other material urges, they are not really pure, Vishuddha. However, by cultivation of knowledge generated from painful practices such as austerity and sense control, Krichena, they attain liberation, Parampadam. It should be understood, however, that even they must have some
Mixed bhakti.
mixed bhakti.
Correct.
For without okay, for without that they cannot attain even liberation. Okay.
Yeah, in this life they will not attain liberation if their practice is not mixed with bhakti. Correct. Okay. So he is quoting one reference. Shreya Shritim Bhakti Mudasyate Te Vibho Klishanti. Without bhakti, the goals of jnana becomes like mirages that we discussed. Okay. Yeah. But eventually they fall down. Yeah. Continue. Hare Krishna. Uh, okay. Somebody else can read. She is not able to read, I think.
But
Hare Krishna.
eventually,
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, please.
but eventually they fall down.
Yeah,
If
just
they,
1 minute. I will have to connect my charger. Just 1 minute.
sure, Guru.
Yeah. Please continue.
But eventually they fall down. If they have some time of bhakti, then how do they fall down? They fall down because they have no respect for your lotus feet, thinking that they are material. There are two types of bhakti practiced.
Yeah, this is important part. This is the answer. Yeah. This.
There are two types of bhakti practiced as an anga of jnana. The jnanis practice bhakti a little bit because the scriptures.
Just 1 minute. I'm increasing the size.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The jnanis practice bhakti a little bit because the scriptures say that without bhakti, jnana cannot be perfected. Some think of the deity as an illusionary form and thus worshipped with disrespect. Others simply worship without disrespect. They first type take extreme measures of austerity, and after a long time, when bhakti bestows knowledge which destroys ignorance and brings about Brahma Bhuta state, it disappears. These people are falsely liberated, Vimukti Manina. They cannot be called Jivan Mukta. According to Lord's statement, Bhaktya Aham Ekaya
Grahya.
Grahya. I am attained solely by devotion. Because of not attaining direct association of the Lord due to absence of bhakti and because of presence of offense, the burned up the burned up seeds of karma again begin to sprout and they fall into the material world again. An example of this is given by the Vishnu Bhakti Chandoradaya concerning Ratha Yatra. If a person out of illusion does not follow the Lord during Rath Yatra, Though he has burnt all his karmas with the fire of knowledge, he will become a Brahma Rakshasa. In the Vasana Bhashya, also there is a statement. Even a Jivan Mukta, if he offends the Lord, full of inconceivable energies, will fall into the bondage of karma again.
Yeah, so till now, the discussion of this falling person is about the one who disrespects the form of the Lord, like that. Okay, so that was explained here till now. If he disrespects the form of the Lord, then what will happen is he will fall
Okay.
down from being the stage of a Jivan Mukta also. Okay, like that. So that's what was told here. Now, second type of Jnani will be told. Okay. So first person was Vimukta Manina. Okay. Where it is? Yes, here. So there are two types of bhakti practiced as a anga of Gyan. So the Jnani practice bhakti a little bit because the scriptures say without it the results will not come. Okay. Others simply worship without disrespect. The second type. Okay. Some, that is the first type, they will worship with disrespect. They will fall down. That was the question of Mataji. And the others will not fall down because they don't have disrespect. That explanation is given here. Please read.
The bhakti of the second type of Jnani brings about Brahma Bhuta, and though extinguishing both knowledge and ignorance does not disappear, it then brings about a direct realization of God. That type of Jnani attains the status of Jivan Mukta. The Gita describes such a person, Brahma Bhuta Prasannatma. Bhaktya mam abhijananti yavan yash chashmi tatvata.
Tatvata. Yeah, the same verses we read just now. So this kind of person described in Bhagavad Gita will not fall down. He will not be coming in this verse where it is told that the person who attains Brahman will fall down. This is not the person who will fall down. Why? Why he does not fall down? Because he does proper jnana. What is proper jnana? That is worshipping without disrespect. Okay. The first type is doing it with disrespect. So he will fall down. So when Prabhupada says, he speaks about this person. Okay. He is doing disrespect. What is the disrespect? That is explained in the verse. Okay. Param Anadrit Yushmad Angraya. He is doing disrespect to your lotus feet. So because of that, Patanti Adha, he will fall down. Even though he is doing lot of hardship, are you a Krishna? From Parampadam, he will fall down. Okay, like that. So this is the answer. There are two types. One will fall down, one will not fall down. Okay. And Sarveshwari Radhika Mataji, you have any question?
Prabhu, yes, Prabhuji. Actually, the example of a bird into a green bird entering a green tree, is it an example of Sayuji Mukti?
Yes, Sayuji Mukti, correct.
But how it is that Sayuji Mukti still said that they do spiritual suicide. But when a bird enters a tree, that is not suicide. Na? It has its identity in the tree.
Correct. It is having identity, but these people are thinking that we will become one with the tree. Actually, they don't become one. That's what Prabhupada is also explaining. They will not become one. That's why this example is given. They think that green parrot will enter green tree and it will become green and nothing will be, everything merge like that. So that's a, yeah.
But they don't lose their identity.
No, they don't.
But then why it is said that that is spiritual suicide? Sayuji Mukti is spiritual suicide.
That is spiritual suicide because there one is thinking that I am equal to Lord, I am equal to God, and they don't want to serve God. So there, our everybody's constitutional position is Nityadas of Krishna. That thing they are forgetting and trying to become equal to Krishna. That's why it is suicide.
But they have their identity.
They have their identity, correct.
Even if they are in Brahma Jyoti, still they have their identity.
Yeah, they have their identity, correct. Yeah,
Okay,
and yeah, correct. That they have their identity. They enjoy also their the Brahman in enjoyment, because Brahman is what? Negation of all that misery in material world. That Brahman actually they enjoy in the Brahma stage, in the Brahma Bhuta stage there. Okay.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai.
Hare Krishna, Bhaktivedanta.
Hare Krishna.